right? Crazy, right? I keep going and reading comments on other people's videos, and you people just don't get it. I don't understand what it is about you people that you're unable to read or do any research. But the weather patterns that are going on in California and the Philippines are not realistic weather patterns. In San Diego, for instance, there was 5 inches of snow in North Los Angeles. That's never happened before. Several feet of snow in San Bernardino Mountains. That's never happened before. In 100 years, it had 5 times it snowed in San Diego or Orange County, and it was only just a light dusting of snow. San Bernardino Mountains had a few inches of snow, but in 125 years, there's never been blizzard-like weather in Los Angeles County, which is Orange County. San Diego County is very big. Orange County and San Diego County are intertwined with one another. I lived there. I know. I remember living there in 1970, and the time that it snowed before that, no one could remember that was our age. The parents remembered a light dusting of snow in north of Los Angeles that lasted a few minutes and then it melted. But now we're talking about snow that sits on the ground. So what's changed? What's changed? If you go with the experts, quote unquote, the experts, the number twos, that we have a climate change and the world is warming up, well, this totally contradicts the so-called number twos and the climate experts, because we're getting snow where no significant amount of snow has ever fallen before. I have the links. I'm going to post the links momentarily. You could see this for yourself, but you people are, I don't know what you people do on YouTube. I have no idea. You certainly don't do research. So it's all there for you to see. Now, to prove to you that this is weather manipulation, they got all the hype out about the snow last week and blizzard conditions in Orange and San Diego counties. And the blizzards are going to continue, and the snow is going to continue, and the rain and the snow and hail is going to continue. And then in one snap of a finger, the number twos, aka the people in charge of the media, changed the narrative to that the snow, the rain, the hail, and the blizzard conditions are a good thing to help end the drought that Lake Mead and the several lakes that dried up over the course of the last 2 years or so. Well, actually 3 or 4 years, actually 20 years. But now the narrative is the snow is a good thing, the rain is a good thing, it's helping fill the lake. And all of that happened from terrible blizzard conditions, landslide, mudslides going through people's houses. All of that ended in one day. And now it's a good thing that all of that happened because it's filling up the reservoirs. You people just don't get it. You're being lied to, in my opinion. You're being manipulated, as is the weather. Now, moving on to something even more important than the California weather is the Philippines weather. Since December 21st, which is 67 days back from now, it has rained 55 plus days. out of 67 days. And we are in the dry season now for 60 days. Or 55 days. So we have had 55 days of rain out of the last 67 when we should have the dry season in the Philippines from the first. Basically, it happens the last week in December during the tourist push, the rush for the tourists. Between December 20th and January 10th is the biggest, most expensive part of the tourist season because it's the nicest weather and it's during the Christmas vacation. But we didn't have that this year. We had a solid 2 weeks of rain, 3 weeks of rain during the tourist season. That's just not normal. But to go further than that, we're right in the middle of the dry season and it's raining every day. And I'm going to show you a weather chart for this week. It's going to rain 6 out of 7 days. And it's raining now. And it rained last night and the night before. So let me show you the weather chart for Panglao for this week. Tuesday, which is today, rain. Wednesday, rain. Thursday, rain. Friday, just cloudy. Saturday, rain. Sunday, rain. Monday, rain. And Tuesday, rain. Now, this is something called AccuWeather. I don't know how accurate it is, but just to give you an idea that it's showing rain, and now I'll give you the page that says using temperature and rainfall as basis, the climate of the country can be divided into 2 seasons. The rainy season from June to November and the dry season from December to May. So we are dead center in the middle of the dry season, and it's rained 55 of the last 67 days. I'll put those links in the description box in case you're interested in checking on this stuff. Let me give you the link for the dry season. This is for the Philippines. I don't care so much about California because that doesn't affect me. But what does affect me and the rest of the Philippines is, in fact, this weather. We are getting weather. I'm not seeing my home. Okay. We are getting weather that is destroying and en masse destroying. Hey, DNC, thanks for stopping by. Oh, I can't put the link down. Oh, man. Okay, I'll have to take it from my video details. I don't think I could put the... Let's see what we could do here with this link. All right, we're going to have to go... You're going to have to Google this because I can't get the link. It's 210 characters. Okay, so I can't do that. Some of those links are really long links. So you'll have to Google, when is the dry season in the Philippines for yourself? And you'll be able to see that the dry season, we're in the middle of the dry season, and it's raining every day. So what does that mean? Well, it means that yesterday was Monday, I do believe. Tuesday is today, yes. Sunday, Saturday, it rained. Well, it rained Saturday, but not Sunday. But the wind was big wind, big wind. So on Saturday, I didn't see any boats go out for the divers. On Monday, it rained all day yesterday. I didn't see any boats go out for the divers. Now, when I say no boats, each boat represents anywhere from 12 to 30 people, which means that twice a day, let's say 20 people twice a day on 10 boats. So 10 boats, each person is 3,000 pesos per person. That's 30,000 pesos. Excuse me. Each person represents 3,000 pesos. And let's say there's 15 people on each boat on average. So that's $4,500, yeah? 15 times 3. That's 45,000 pesos. 45,000 pesos is $900. So they're losing 900 in the morning and 900 in the afternoon for each boat. $1,800 a day times 10. They're losing $18,000 a day in income in the Philippines. On average, just from the boats in front of my house. So I'll show you the weather out in front of the house. We have white caps in the ocean, which will not allow boats to go out in this kind of weather on this side of the island. So they probably moved the boats to the lee side of the island, but still the weather is not nice to go diving or snorkeling. When you get out there, those waves, they just look like whitecaps out there. Those are 2 and 3 and 4 foot high waves out there. The wind has been blowing all night 30 miles an hour, sometimes bigger gusts than that. The reef is not, you cannot dive on that reef where you see that big band of white. You cannot see how rough the water is, but inside that white line of waves, the ocean bottom is disturbed so much that the viz, or what's known as visibility, is basically zero. So there are no dives on this reef at all for the last 4 days that I've noticed. If they are there, I didn't see anybody going in or out. That truck is the Chinese man that owns 10 boats that are on this beach, and I haven't seen even one boat go out. I see the curvature. That's right. The Earth is a globulous globe-like entity spinning at 1,038 miles an hour, and that's what keeps the water from spinning off the Earth. Had it been spinning at 1,042 miles an hour, the Earth would spin the water off the globe. But at 1,038, it maintains a steady, imaginary thing called gravity, which does not exist. You know, you got me started. So I should give you some statistics for the flat Earth while I'm doing this. But I did want to talk about the weather. So right now, thanks DNC, right now that I know of, when I walked to the beach yesterday, 10 boats were on the beach, not out. So those 10 boats represent $1,800 a day in lost income, not just for the Chinese fella that owns the boats, because not all of that is profit, but his boats have to be maintained. His captain gets paid to stay on the boats, and maybe a deckhand as well. If there's big weather, 2 people are on the boats. They have to stay on the boats. And there's no income for the mates on the boats. And the people that would normally go on the boats are not spending that money, which is then therefore spent on other things in the diving industry, like tank refills. There's no tank refills. There's no food to go out on the boats to that industry, and the hotels make their own food for the divers. That industry, the divers, if they're not going to go diving, yes, I'll talk about that. The price of those boats to maintain a boat on the water, a very expensive thing. So this fella, this Chinese fella, who's a very nice man, his name is John. I know him well. He has $1 million invested in these boats, much more than that. They just built a 5-star hotel right up the block, 700 feet away from me. And then the lockdown came. They opened it up in November. The lockdown came in January, and the hotel stayed closed for 2 years and 2 months. Not anything but just a skeleton crew in the hotel. So he took a major loss. Plus, there were 11 boats on the beach, and owned by Brave Diver, 11, or that man. He has 2 different names. And then there were 2 other boats. So there were 13 boats on the beach. Now there are 10. 3 of those boats were demolished unintentionally. John brought a backhoe down to the beach and just ripped the boats apart with the backhoe, a track hoe. The same one I showed you that took the float, the dive float off the beach. They just took the track hoe and ripped it apart, and they pulled the pieces up on the beach, and hundreds of Filipinos came. They called up their cousins and their brothers and family members, and they all went down to the beach with saws and hatchets, and they chopped up huge pieces of plywood and structural material, and they all took it home to rebuild their houses with. So those boats are roughly 300 to 400 to 500,000 pesos, or $10,000, anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. So there's 3 of those boats are gone. So those other 10 boats at $10,000 is $100,000 minimum for the smaller boats, medium-sized boats. So he's losing tons of money, and he still has to maintain the boats. So each boat had to be maintained after the lockdown. They had 8 or 10 men working on them for the lockdown may have ended last November, but the boats were not available to go out into the ocean until just the middle of January, because they had men working on. So that money for the men to work on the boats is part of the overhead. And you have 10 men working on a boat, painting it, re-rigging it. 2 motors came out of the boats, and those motors cost somewhere in the $1,200 to $1,500 range to clean out the water from the boat. The motors went right under the water in some cases. Some of the motors are sitting up the block. I used one for a thumbnail the other day. They were froze up. Some needed to be rebuilt. Some of the propeller shafts went out last week. You could believe whatever you want as long as you keep the comments nonviolent. And You could put down whatever you want. Your opinion about whether the Earth is flat or not is a valid opinion. Just keep keep it reasonable, and you're welcome to post whatever you like. If you have a documentary, the name of a documentary that you want to post, if you want to just say that the Earth is round and it's not flat, you could say that too. But if you have a documentary, put the title up there, and I'll get the link. I'll post the documentary for you. If you want to post that the Earth is round, if you have proof, but so far nobody has proof. So you're welcome to post what you want. Just keep it clean. So what I was saying about John is he lost $1 million in revenue, much more than that, and boats. So they may be building new boats. Now, there are hundreds of boats, but none of them are going anywhere. I was in immigration is right across the street from the church, San Augustine's church. And behind San Augustine's church, if you want to rent a boat to go for a day trip or to go to Balikasag Island or Virgin Island, there's about 100 plus boats and a big dock. It's a huge docking system for the Philippines. It's a big docking system. And those trips, for a day trip, for a snorkel trip, is about 1,500 to 1,800 pesos. Or you could rent the boat for the day for one or two people. Or, hey, Damon, thanks for stopping by. Hey, Super Chat. I see Super Chat. Damon, I saw they were giving you a hard time on another channel. I won't do that. So I gotta get a pot. I'm gonna get the pot right now. Daman Salamat. Daman, I love that name because in Star Trek, Damon Brock, or Damon Bra, he's the chief of the Ferengi. He's like the head Ferengi. He's the in charge, like a general or a colonel. And the Ferengi, they have to like, not salute, but pay homage to the Daemon. Daemon, I'll get the pot. You welcome interruption. But John lost $1 million from my best estimate, although I don't talk to him about that. We talk on a regular basis, if necessary. And but I can do the math. If he has 10 boats and each boat makes 1,800 pesos, 18,000 pesos a day, rounded off to 20,000 pesos a day, 7 days a week, 140,000 pesos is 7 million pesos. 140,000 pesos is, let's see, in numbers, it's $3,000 a day. So times $3,000 a day. These are all rough numbers. Times $3,000 a day times 365. That's $1 million of revenue from those 10 boats. Plus the lost revenue from the hotel. Because there's no reason to... John has the nicest hotel besides the Bellevue and one other on Panglao Island. Well, there's no reason to stay at a 5-star hotel if you're not part of the dive crew. So he's lost millions of dollars. And this weather is destroying his business. And that's destroying... Thank you very much, Demon. That is in turn destroying the economy of the local businesses, but the people, they don't have work. You just can't have a fluid monetary system if there's nothing coming in. So in John's hotel rates are $3,500 a day for the least expensive room, which is $70. And that was 3 years ago. And that's a satellite hotel. That's not the big hotel. The big hotels start at over $100 a day. But it's got a full service dive pool with dive instructions available. So if you wanted to come to Phang Lao, you Google Brave, B-R-A-V, Brave Diver, Phang Lao, or Brave Diver Philippines. If you wanted to get certified, you can literally be certified in his pool, in his hotel, up until you're open water. And then you could go outside on that pontoon boat that the Traco rescued from the beach back in January. So he has a full certification dive instruction center. But if you're not looking to get certified, why would you spend $120 or $135 per night per room when you could just go to Alona Beach and stay in a room for about $40? Because if you're not diving from these boats, what's the point of staying in his hotel? So on this block, he's lost $2 million in income. And I will tell you this, every man, woman, and child on this block is in the service industry, either construction or maids for the hotel or work at the restaurant. So there's no work for these people. A lot of them got laid off 2 years. Drivers, he used to have 12 drivers that would pick you up at the airport. Now he has 4 vans. So he went from 12 vans full-time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to 4. And that's not just because of the weather, but because of the lockdown. And now with the weather, no one's booking the resort. You go by the resort, it's basically an empty resort. I've been in, but I won't do a video on it because I like John. I like Brave Diver, and it's a local business. I'm not going to say, look how empty this place is. I'm not going to do that. But I will tell you that the weather here has destroyed the economy of all the hotels on the block, except the Stanley House. You can't book a room in the Stanley House for a year from now. Maybe you get a 1 day here or there. Because that hotel next door has a view of the ocean. Anytime you get a view of the ocean, you get full booking almost 365 days a year. But the hotels that are not ocean view hotels, not so much. During the off season or what's happening with the rain now. There goes the people from the Stanley House now. Okay, so John, Damon, let's sing a song. Let's bring let's see, what could we, the rain song. The rain song. Damon Brock from Star Trek is here. Rain, rain, go away, come back another day. Damon donated big pesos to the fund. I only wish there was a donut shop around. If I was a donut hound, I could become a donut eating factory and spend Damon's pesos on pastry. But I'm not a donut eating factory who makes his money e-begging by talking about other bloggers and drama. That is something I don't specialize in, but I do it well when I choose to do so. The donut eating factory is everything but mobile, because to go mobile means you have to walk on those bipedals. Seeing how those bipedals don't work so good, the donut eating factory never leaves his hood, otherwise known as the basement dwelling, where he eats the jelly fillings. The donut eating factory squeezes the jelly out first, then dips them in sugar for an energy burst. Thank you, Damon. Salama, Damon. We thank you, Damon. Don't forget, the donut eating factory doesn't have a lot of ways to earn a living, so he has to do drama. So drama, I try to stay away from drama, but it's so hard when you go and you watch other people's videos and they're all dramatizing things that aren't true. Like today I saw a comment about my leg. They're still talking about the infection on my leg. Even though it's almost gone, they're still talking about it as if they were as if I needed major surgery. The medicine I'm taking has cleared up the wounds. The wounds were this big, now they're this big. And in a few weeks, I hope to show you my leg where there are no wounds, but they're still doing drama about the infection in my leg, which I didn't cause, and I can't do anything other than what I've done. But you people want drama? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to make this really clear. There's going to be a day that I do full-on drama. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. We're going to talk about people that are two-faced or multiple-faced or 10-faced, as my brother from another mother has pointed out. We're going to talk about drama one day. We're going to go in deep. We're going to go all through the various phases of drama for people that talk out of both sides of their mouth. And then you will see, and I will give you examples and give you examples of how two-faced people can be. You'll have, and let's say you'll have an example of someone who said, oh, what happened to you was terrible. And then turns around and gives a donation of $250 to a certain blogger. Just days later. That's two-faced. Or, as my brother from another mother would say, 10-faced. Because he does come up with some good content once in a while. And some good some of the things that he's come up with are quite actually true. When he does the real blogs, when he does his real exposés, if you go back, now when he's talking about my leg, that was just raw stuff that he was making that stuff up as he went along. But when he's talking about that guy with 10 faces, that's true. My leg, the stuff he said about my leg was never true, but the stuff about the guy with 10 faces is true. So we'll do an expose. We'll have to make that one age restricted, because we're going to go and we're going to go in and we're going to talk about people that say, oh, what happened to you is terrible, and then donate $250 to the person that made that happen to me. And you guys out there, and you know who you are, listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. It's a warning. It's a warning. You keep letting people post on your channel stuff about me, not going to work out well for you in the end. It's not going to work out well for you. When I see negative and dangerous stuff on your channel from bloggers talking about me and something that may or may not happen, I'll have your channel removed. I am not my brother from another mother. I have that ability because of what you allow on your channel. So you keep it up, and I'll have your channel, or I'll do everything possible to have your channel removed. Because if you're going to incite violence or allow violence to be incited on your channel, this is your first, or actually second warning. There won't be another warning. Keep allowing those people to post stuff about my infected leg, and keep allowing people to talk about me with me in the video, and keep allowing that to happen. You will not get a third warning. Your third warning will be coming from YouTube. There, you have been notified. I told you once before, don't allow certain things to happen, and you're allowing it to happen once again. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you won't like what happens. YouTube will take my side in this matter. So, you want drama? I'll give you drama. I'll do a live stream, age-restricted live stream. I'll give it to you from day one. What really happened? I even will go back and talk about the ghost of Warren H. If need be, I'll go back and relive what actually happened and how and who the 10-faced man took Warren H's side. Oh, he did. And he made every effort to make me look like a liar and a fool. We'll do that. We'll do that one day, I promise. Because that's what's about to happen. Because you people don't get it. And the 10-faced man, otherwise known as the Beg, B-E-G, Beg E, that keeps donating large quantities of money to the donut eating factory, we'll have to do an expose on him as well. Because he is a lot of things, but he's not the friend that he pretended to be to me, for sure. And he does have, as my brother from another mother said, 10 faces. And I'll just add one more thing. He believes that there are people out there that are his friend because they talk nice to him. I think it was Tux, Mr. Tux, that said it best to the man with 10 faces. Believing that Aloe de Winter is your friend, Mr. Tux said, is a fallacy, a false doctrine, let's say, false, not your friend. But you can keep believing it and keep getting on the end of the proverbial knob. And it makes you look, I laugh at you, I laugh behind the scenes with people at you, and you felt it necessary to do 3-hour hit piece on me. I'm telling you, you could do, we will do that. We will do that if that's where you want to go. But you've not retracted anything that you've said, which I don't intend or expect for you to do, but I will review your 3-hour hit piece and rebuke it and rebuttal it. As my brother from another mother says, you have 10 faces and none of them are friends with me. You just wanted to look like the big man on campus, as Flying Circus said. Hey, we have more. I see yellow. Yellow. So you, number one, you have been warned. Number two, an expose is coming because you feel it necessary to maintain free speech. I'll show you what free speech is. Let's see who the yellow is from, let's go back over here, Damon Salamat, free speech. I'll show you what free speech is all about. DNC, a 500 peso, $10 donation by DNC. Send pins or 16 penny nows. Whoa. So, yeah, you guys, I tried to do a little bit of, I made, you know what's a little bit upsetting? The same person with 10 faces said he doesn't even get any views. He's got 4,500 subscribers and doesn't get any views. He gets a few hundred views. No one likes his content. And yet the man with 10 faces has 9,500 subscribers and gets on average 25 views per video. And I'll tell you why both of those things happen before I bang the pot, before I bang a bucket. Those things, our view counts are based on something each one of us has done years ago. Me, with my political beliefs on the structure of who runs the world, and I'm right about that. I've always been right about that. Me on my dollar bill videos that prove that the Vatican controls the United States government. They don't want you to know that. Well, if they didn't want you to know that, why did the United States government put a pictograph of the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill? Why did my videos get 10,000, 20,000, a million views in 2010 in the dollar bill genre? And why, if I put up a video now, it won't even show unless you Google the exact name? Because they shadow banned me. And they shadow ban my view counts. You get some worthless blogger on YouTube that will get 5,000 videos of taking shoes and pictures of shoes in a shoe store. No words, just pictures of shoes in a shoe store, gets 5,000 views. I put up a real video with real content about real life in the Philippines, that birthday party that I went to. What, you think there weren't very powerful, as far as localities are concerned, there? Police, barangay captain, barangay lieutenants. You don't, at that party, we had them all. It's all family. It's all friends. But you people don't post anything like that. None of you. And I put that expose up on my community page. You have people that, I'm going to the Philippines and I'm going to do this, and then they don't do it when they get here because it's all blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go to the Philippines and I'm going to do that, and then they don't do it when they get here because it's all blah, blah, blah. You have Pinoy Troll, who's a Filipino, who doesn't have any content about the Philippines that I can find. You people don't put up Philippines content. I do. And I get 150 views, and that's what I get because of my political viewpoints. But that's all I'm ever going to get. I understand that. But the same holds true for the man with 10 faces, but for a completely different reason. And those reasons will be revealed when I do my expose, because he has that hit piece up on me because of free speech. He's allowed to do that. I did not flag that video. I will not flag that video. I will do an expose on that video, and even if you take it down, because you did remove the comments. Some of the comments you removed. I have it recorded full screen with the comments. I might do an expose on that. You want drama? I'll give you drama. And I'll give it to you straight. You have people walking around doing the most bizarre stuff, and they want to be looked at up. They want to be looked up to. That's a joke. Let's get to DNC. Oh, there was another comment. Let's see. Damon I'll answer your question first in case you have something to do. I've never been to the Chocolate Hills, Demon. I have been, nor did I had the opportunity several times, and I just wouldn't go. Look, I think that from what I've seen of the Chocolate Hills, it's an amazing natural occurrence. And I think that if you come to the Philippines, it's a great tourist attraction. But I also think it's just a bunch of dirt. And as an excavation contractor and having lived in Michigan, having lived in San Diego, California, having lived in New York, having lived in Florida, and having visited 32 states in the contingent United States, I have seen millions, maybe, or hundreds of thousands of mountains. I actually went to the base of Devil's Tower with the intent to climb it, the one that's in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I thought it was just like a rock formation that you could climb. You really have to spend, if you're a climber, and I was in good shape at the time, you'd have to spend the whole day getting up there. I wasn't going to do that. But I've been to the Midwest. I've been to the Grand Canyon, down into the Grand Canyon. I've been to Devil's Tower. I lived in Sedona, Arizona, on and off for 3 weeks. I did the 7 ponds, which they call them 7 ponds. They're indentations in the rock, starting at about 10 inches and going up to 4 feet. And when it rains, there's water in a rock. And I went for 3 hours. I walked into Sedona, Arizona to see the 7 ponds. And they're just puddles of water if there's rain. And if there's no rain, it's just an indentation in the rock, like a small one, and then a bigger one, and then a bigger one, and then a bigger one. And they're definitely there. But I walked for hours to go see that, because I could have took pink jeepney tour and got there in 5 minutes, but I decided to do the walking tour. I've been in the caves in Sedona, Arizona, and New Mexico. I visited caves. I visited the Appalachian Mountains, one of the trails in the Appalachian Mountains back in 1989. I was there for a few days. I went through the states in a van. To see the Chocolate Hills doesn't interest me at all. I lived in Michigan at 925 feet elevation in, that was Alpena, not Alpena. Alpena was, I lived in a different place. What was the name of that international airport up the road from me? It really wasn't an airport. It was where we flew out of, Ultralights. If I remember the name, I'll tell you. But I lived in the mountains of Michigan and did a lot of trails in Michigan with my buddy Paul and my friend Jamie. My friend Jamie was in a wheelchair, but his wife, and we used to take 2 or 3 day excursions into the mountains with Jamie's children and take them on trailblazing. I've done about as much mountain climbing as I care to. So the Chocolate Hills, to walk up a whole high bunch of steps, to look at a horizon of hills that go like this. You can't walk in the Chocolate Hills. You can only look at them. And they're hills. They go like this. There's many of them. I'm going to pass. So let's see what Damon has to say. D&C. I lived at 555 North Avenue, Vista, California. 555 North Avenue, Vista, California would be about 200 feet from the San Francisco train tracks. And I lived at 1050 Vista, 1050 Golden Trail, Vista, California. in Vista proper. And both of those are in Vista proper. Vista, 555 North Avenue, 1050 Golden Trail. 555 Vista, if there was an address now, it would be a warehouse. They took that mountain down. I lived on the edge of a mountain, right. The Santa Fe Railroad, I think it was, the Santa Fe Railroad ran right behind the house. You could see the windows. You could see the people in the windows of the railroad when it went by. And I lived there. And then I lived on 1050 Golden Trail, and on 1050 Golden Trail, it's a side of a mountain. And it used to be the J&A Ranch. J as in Jericho, A as in Alpha. J&A Ranch, and it was owned by the Austin family. And I lived there for the summer of 1970, and then again I lived there in 77, and then again I visited San Diego, a little bit away from there, for 2 months during the LA riots. I got there the week after the LA riots. So that was 91, I think. I forget, a long time ago. I've been to Chula Vista. I've been to Temecula. I saw the Temecula giant oak shrubs. My friend Earl owned the sand pits where they mined the sand in Temecula, California. He was granted that from the Indians, the Temecula Indians. I know he passed on. He was the person that took me flying when I was 14 years old, and I think it was a Cessna, and Earl Stolworthy was his name. So I lived in California many times in many places. Now let's go back. DNC. What do we have to talk about with DNC? Oh, yeah. Damon, you're right about that. Most of the businesses in Bohol are owned by either Chinese or half Chinese families, most. The 2 automotive stores owned by Chinese women are the people that go to the store to run the store during the day. The Chinese man, John, that lives up the block, that owns Brave Diver, they own 10 boats here, and they own the 3 biggest dive resorts in Alona Beach. But all the businesses are registered under Filipinos as 60% partners. They work that out with them legally. They work that out with them. But most of the big business in the Philippines is owned by Chinese and now Korean. If you go to a place like Bacolod is strictly Chinese. I don't think there are any Philippines. The one thing that they do have to do is they have to hire Philippines workers. But the businesses themselves, almost every major mall, BQ and ICM, I'm pretty sure, I know ICM is owned by Chinese, but I'm pretty sure BQ is as well. Well, going back to DNC. Send pins or 16-penny nails. Let's nail these false flag YouTubers to the cross. Let's make them give us worthy blogging material, not just drama. Okay, so to DNC, I have to ask, when was the last time a so-called Philippines blogger in the community post that I noted, including creative artists like Roberto, who has no content about the Philippines at all, nor does Roberto or Popeye or Pinoy Troll or the Donut Eating Factory. Do none of them ever post on my videos because that would give me a view. They may not even watch my videos. And that's okay because I laugh in their face that they are and call themselves Philippines bloggers. And yet they post nothing pertaining to the Philippines at all. Nothing. Zero. In years, not a single blog. And we dedicate this truth, justice, and the American free speech way to people that believe themselves to be called Philippines bloggers when they have no content of the Philippines on their channel at all, other than talking about drama of other Philippines bloggers and allowing said people to talk about me on their channel, which is free speech, right? And we have to give a ding, 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 free speech. Ding, 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 it's coming. Ding, 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 when you pretend to be my friend and you give somebody $250 in Super Chat that you just condemned, it means you're not my friend. Ding, 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 ding. You will claim you didn't give anybody $250, but you did, in fact, do so according to my records. Between you and the missus, there was about $125, maybe a little bit more, and then coffee money. Another $50 in coffee money. And then I do believe you paid for a dinner and drinks. So you gave in the area of $250 to a man you just condemned days before. Days after you condemned him for an event that occurred in the Philippines, then you donated $250. That's free speech, right? No, that's one of the 10 faces that my brother from another mother talk about. Just one of the 10 faces of the beg, B-E-G, dash E, the beg E. Big man on campus. Just one of those 10 faces shining through. DNC, see what you made me do? DNC, we put the nails in the coffin. Oh God, that was fun. I gotta tell you, that was fun. Thank you, DNC. Yeah, we got that off our chest. We're going to do some free speech. It's going to get progressively worse. Because I still see that people are still believing in that man who believes in free speech, who lied and defrauded them of their self-worth by lying to them and then having them believe he is the big man on campus. Flying Circus knows the truth. So DNC, thank you very much. So if anybody has a question, Salamat, about how bad it is here at the party. Okay, so I made a mistake about the Philippines party. Oh, here's another thing. Look at all the people watching. Sometimes I'll have a few more, 30 people, 40 people watching. All of those people are the hypocrites. The two-faced people on YouTube, the ones that come to grab a soundbite or a little piece of snippet of a video to make fun of me, yet none of them have any real content. None of them have any real content. None of them have any real content. They are just trolls. So the people at the party, I said that most of those people that showed up at dinner time were the locals. That's true. They're all locals. But I misspoke in the video saying that these are all the local people. The people that showed up at dinner time, which were about, 100 in number over the course of the whole evening, that 100 people were served food. That's only family. That's the family of the person whose party that I went to. Hold on, let me put this fan on. So the family of the people that I went to are inclusive of, in this area of Panglao, about 700 family members. Because I went to a wedding a few years back, and the woman whose wedding it was, Marietta, she lived right where I'm sitting right now. Years ago, as a child, she lived next door, and she played in this lot that was once an empty lot. And that was 40 years ago. And I said to her, is this, because there were about 200 people at the wedding. I says, is this your entire family? She said, oh, no. So she is also related to my landlord, whose party that we went to. And she said, if my family, there's about 700 plus to 750 people in my immediate family in Dolho, Panglao. Because this fishing village goes back a few hundred years, and basically everybody here is family, which I found out years ago when I first moved here. Oh, your neighbor's with my cousin. And I'm going, who's your cousin? And then they say, Guapo. And I would say, well, he's your cousin? Yeah, he's my cousin. They're cousins with everybody. It's like Puerto Rico. Everybody has a cousin in Puerto Rico, right? Everybody. Because it's all goes back hundreds of years to the island of Puerto Rico. Same thing here. So everybody at the dinner, except some, I think, all right, so what I didn't see at the evening feast was many locals. Many locals. I said to them, I said to Guapo, where is, we won't say his name, where is so-and-so? Oh, he's not family. So I said, well, all of these men here are family, all. And all the women, all. And all the children, he said, most. So for the evening prayer for Nanai, her 82nd birthday, and for the food distribution, that was for the family. During the day, breakfast and lunch throughout the day, there were several hundred meals dished out to the locals, because everybody loves Nanai. So it's a pretty prestigious, in Philippines terms, to be invited to the family to sit down, and especially Nanai saying, Michael, here's your plate, you eat now. They like that. I'm the only person there that wasn't family. But I'm like family to them, because I've been friends with Nanai since the first day I moved into Stanley House in 2014. I met Nanai and her husband Philemon. Philemon did not speak English. Nanai speaks a little English, but we always manage to say hello. And every party that ever has happened on that property, they send somebody over to fetch me for the party. Michael, there's a party, you come at 6 o'clock, because that's when family goes. And 6 o'clock was when the family started showing up. Now, sometimes on New Year's or Christmas, the party is all day. But even now, the economy here in the Philippines is not what it was. And it's not like Nanai cooks. She has the three ladies dishing out the food are a family. The sister was sitting down at the front row to greet the children and the other members of the community. And There is a man that does all the big cooking on the big pots in the back and then brings it up to the front. The women chop up all the carrots and the onions and the garlic and the sauces and the meats and stuff like that. And then, so there might be 6 people involved with cooking and clean up. 2 of them only do dishes. As soon as a dish is or a glass is dirty, they wash it out. So there's 6 people involved with that party that I went to. 4 of them do cooking and serving. 2 people never leave the kitchen and cleaning the dishes and the pots. They might have gone through 50 kilos of rice that day. I saw a bag of rice getting delivered in the morning. They may have gone through 50 kilos. So but the economy, normally, Nan and I would have an open day. Normally that party would have somewhere between 10 and 12 cases of Coca-Cola. At this party there were only 3, and they had to go out and get more Coke for the rum later on. Normally there'd be 8 or 10 cases of soda, orange soda, maybe 8 and 10 or 12 of Coke. They didn't have any orange soda this year, no Sprite, because the economy's really bad. And everybody is feeling the crunch. Everybody here. So at the party, to give you an idea, I was starting to say how many people are looking for work. Oh God, they want every person, even the ones that are employed. The jobs are coming to an end, the ones that they're on that I know about. They all asked me for a job. Maybe 4 people that were there, and I said to them, do you have NBI clearance? No, we don't need NBI clearance. I says, you do once the job starts again. In order to work for me, I'm going to have to insure the people under the contractor's license. I have 2 contractors that I've been talking to. And I don't know that it's going to work out with either one of them, but I am demanding that each person has an NBI clearance and has insurance. It's cheap enough. It's only 1,000 pesos a month per person for $2,000 of insurance for hospital, medical, and also permanent accident insurance is a little bit more. So I'll see what goes on with the insurance for the project when the project starts again. So you people that make fun of the project, did you forget that we had a 2-year and 2-month lockdown where no work was done here at all? Did you forget that I had serious infections on my legs before that? Did you forget that a ladder broke? And I'm tired of hearing you people say that it was a ladder that I built. It was a brand new ladder, and the dogs walked out of their grooves, and the ladder collapsed, and I almost died. So you people that are in the side chat, the ones that came here to make fun or to grab a soundbite, you can all go to where the sun doesn't shine, okay? You're never going to make me believe anything that you say, because other people are stupid enough to believe what you say is true. Doesn't make it true. I did not fall off of any ladder. I did not fall off of any ladder that I built. I bought a ladder that was faulty and it failed. I saw that just recently. I saw the leg is infected to where you can smell it when you walk by the house. Yeah, that was really nice. But that all of those people don't have any content on YouTube. So when you see a really negative comment on somebody's channel and somebody allows those comments on their channel, just understand those comments and those channels are going to start to lose commenters and videos starting today. So keep allowing those people to say those most egregious things, and I'll start making those comments disappear. However, by whatever, however necessary. Whatever YouTube requires, I will give them. Okay, I've had it with you and your commenters and you allowing that stuff. You can have free speech, but I will do everything I can to not allow false free speech, which is another thing the man with 10 faces is famous for. False accusations, and he, being a moderator, allows those to stay on the page because it's free speech, right? It's free speech, whether or not it's true, whether he knows it's true or not. It's free speech, right? I'm going to do free speech. You won't like it, man with 10 faces. You're a moderator and you allow people to say what they say knowing it's not true? Well, that's free speech. Well, I'll do free speech too, only I'll do truth. I will do this. I have it all planned out. It's just a question of when I'm going to do it. I'm making a list and checking it twice. Free speech? I'll give you free speech. Let's go back to the comments. Damon says, you're right. You're correct. It's a lot of hate in the YouTube Philippines community with cloggers with no content relating to the Philippines itself. No. Okay, let's just digress without being negative. Has the Donut Eating Factory, has he ever posted a video of the Philippines? It's a question. You can answer it. Has the Donut Eating Factory, does he have any Philippines videos on the internet that we can see? Or does he just talk about the Philippines and yesteryear? Like Mr. Popeye. But those stories are 40 years old. They're getting old. They're getting old. I like Popeye, and I like some of the stuff he does with his comedy and his creative skills, but it's not, I don't know that it would be considered a Philippines channel, that he's in the thick of the Philippines genre. And he does some great comedy, but he doesn't do the comedy anymore. Now he's doing blogs with road maps of where to walk your dog and where not to step on electronic bicycles, which was really cool, the electronic bike. And it's nice that he's getting out of the house and getting some exercise, but it's not Philippines content. He even said that in his last show. I watched it, that he's staying away from the Philippines drama, but that's not necessarily true, but it's partially true. You have Pinoy Troll, who is Filipino, who came to the Philippines, but I don't remember him posting anything about the Philippines. So why is he considered a Philippines blogger? Because he's Filipino. And of course, there is Roberto, who is a creative genius at times, who's watching now, who doesn't comment on my page, who never did what he said he was going to do on several occasions in regards to coming to the Philippines and getting something done. He never did that. But he hyped himself up that he was going to do this, that, and the other thing. And then once he realized he was here, it probably wasn't such a good idea to do those things. But the hype was there, and then no follow through. Who else is there? Lots of people pretend that they're Philippines bloggers, but they don't have any content. Where is all up in your geek Philippines vlogging content of something in the Philippines? Now, in just this last month, I blogged many things regarding the Philippines, because that's what I do. But I'm one of the few people, and I don't get a lot of views because these same people will come to my channel. They will not leave a comment. They will, I know they watch. They will not leave a comment. They won't push the thumbs up because they're angry, jealous people. Number one, they're not here in the Philippines. They're upset and angry about that. Who sound like my brother from another mother, yeah? They're angry that they're not here, and they have no ability to make Philippines genre content. So they do what they can do. Yeah, Roberto makes some good comedy. He does some exposés that are reasonable, but all he's really got is negative speech. So they don't come to my channel. They don't give me a thumbs up. They don't leave comments on my page. So I got tired of that and put up a community post about the people in the Philippines vlogging genre are not Philippines bloggers. And they're not by definition. By definition, they're nothing more or less than haters. Now, you have many people that are in this category, not just a few. A lot of people have tried and failed in blogging the Philippines content. There's just so much stuff that you can do. And they're not, a lot of these people live in a rather bland area. I like Flywoods, but I don't see them pumping anything out lately because they've all taken sides against Flywoods, and he's not done anything wrong to the community. But they've all taken sides to not watch his videos or allow other people to post garbage about him. And I like Flywoods, and I consider him my friend. But he doesn't come around anymore for fear of being ostracized by these so-called Philippines vloggers. And that's okay. I understand that. He doesn't have to come around. But this is what you've done. You angry, hateful people have caused nice people like Frank, a.k.a. Flywoods, to not vlog anymore. Or not vlog about anything in the Philippines that I can see anymore. I don't see anything coming up on my feed. Unless YouTube disconnected me, I haven't seen anything in weeks. But because you ostracize him, he watches FAZIO. He comments on FAZIO's channel. Let's not watch Flywoods. You know, he's a bad person. And that's all because none of you people have any real content. You're not bloggers. You're not Philippines bloggers. You are just hate mongers. Like the donut eating factory couldn't live without donations. I can. Many other people can, but he cannot. So therefore, he has to allow people to do hateful stuff on his channel and then laugh about it. Well, we'll have the last laugh when that non-mobile donut eating factory never gets to the Philippines. And then when he gets here, what is he going to do? What is he going to blog about when he gets here? Is he going to walk around? No, not going to walk around. Is he going to visit anywhere? No. Is he going to go swimming? No. Is he going to go out on a boat? Probably not. Is he going to go blog the museum? I blogged the museum here in Panglao. I don't get many views on it, but I blogged it. Is he going to? He's not going to do any of that. I don't even think he'll go back to drinking alcohol. I don't think he will. I think he'll just go back there and realize that the Philippines is not for him, because in order to do anything in the Philippines, you have to go someplace, and that involves moving the bipeds. And that's probably not something that he'll ever be able to do again, unfortunately. So he talks about coming back here, but he never will. So therefore, he has to maintain his bills. So he has to e-beg, and therefore he has to allow people to lie and defraud other people on his channel. That's not vlogging. That's not Philippines vlogging. It's just not part of the genre of the Philippines. What I did with the birthday party. Do you see anybody else anywhere on YouTube interacting with 100 people over the course of the night? In that 10-minute vlog, 30 or 40 people saying hello and a couple of hugs and a couple of laughs and things like that. But those are my friends. You don't see anybody else doing that. Typically, if you see a foreigner, they're ostracized at the party. Yeah, he's a foreigner. Yeah, okay. And they don't pay much attention to the foreigner because most of them don't speak English. And even if they spoke English, what are we going to talk about? Think about that. What do you have in common with the people of the Philippines other than the weather? And today we're talking about the weather. Not much. I talked to a lady on the Jeep, a young girl, I guess she was 18. She could have been 20. She looked 18, I don't know. And I said to her, I was talking to her, she asked me how long I live here. And she said to me, do you like it here in the Philippines? And that's like a tricky question. It's nice here, the weather's nice here. The people are, where I live, a very peaceful place to live. But there's not much to do here. And the weather has not been conducive at all for scuba diving or boating. And before that, we had the lockdown, couldn't do that. You know, for over a year, you weren't allowed to go swimming in the beach, so I didn't do any beach videos. If I went swimming, I didn't blog it because you weren't allowed to do it. It had signs up everywhere, no swimming allowed. You could stand in the water up to your knees, but no swimming. So when she asked me if I like it here, I said, yeah, it's okay, but, you know, the blackouts and the internet outages and stuff like that gets old after a while. And she just put her head down to the floor and stopped talking to me because they don't want to hear that. They know there's blackouts, but she asked me if I like it here. I told her the truth. They don't want to hear anything negative about the Philippines. But the food prices are going through the roof. Meat is up 10% since December 1st. Chicken is up 15% since December 1st. Eggs went from $2.10 to $2.50. So that's 18%. Eggs are up since December 1st, 18% up. Eggs. The prices here are through the roof. Not for me, but for the Philippines people. They're all taking 10%, 12%, 18% rate hikes. And now the economy is failing because of this weather, again. So at the party, a lot of people asked me for a job to fill in on the days they're not working, and I'm not allowed to hire them anyway because I don't have a contractor on the job. Or I am not the contractor. We'll work that out with the building department. And none of the people here that asked me for work, I said to them, do you have an NBI clearance? No. Well, one reason they don't have an NBI clearance is because an NBI clearance is $6 and a trip to the city. And they have to have identification. Well, they don't have any of that. There are people here that are 45 and 50 years old that don't have identification. They can't get an NBI clearance without first getting a birth certificate, and they don't know how to do that, or they can't do it, or they don't have the money to do it. The Philippines is in a recession or depression right now, and everybody here is just struggling to work to make ends meet. And then they want to work for you illegally, and if they get hurt, you have to pay their medical bills. I won't have that. So there's a lot of setbacks in the Philippines that are occurring because of the destructive nature of the weather on the economy. That's right. Ferdinand Marcos was the president, and Mrs. Marcos had 1,000 pairs of shoes. Okay, Rich. Now let's see what happened here. Ruby Galar's content. Okay, is that Flywood's one? Let me copy that. Because I'm only subscribed to Flywoods 1, Rich. I am only subscribed to Flywoods 1. I'll open up a link. I don't think I am subscribed to Ruby. Thanks for notifying me about that. I don't think I'm subscribed to Ruby. I'm pasting it in there now. No. Either I was subscribed and I'm no longer subscribed, or I was never subscribed. Let's check this out. Rubalicious 1. All right, let's go here. Okay, see, that's different than Flywoods. Okay, so let's subscribe and all notifications. So while we're here, let's get Ruby's channel link up here. All right, Rich, thanks for telling me about that, because I thought Flywoods and Ruby's channel are the same, but apparently they're not. Okay, let's go back over here. So Ruby does, I know Ruby does TikTok, and she does cooking videos. So you guys want to, if you want to watch a Filipina woman do blogs, Rubylicious is a Filipina who does vlogs. And she does TikTok dancing, if I remember correctly. And she has I guess that child's going on 5 years old now. And she has a baby with a man called Frank, Flywoods 1. Let's see if we could get Flywoods channel up there also. Because you know what YouTube does? They unsubscribe you from these channels if you don't go there every week. Let's look at Flywoods 1. F-L-Y. Flywoods 1 channel. Let's see if we're subscribed to that. May not even be subscribed anymore. I don't see his channel. I just Googled it. I just searched it. I don't see it. Flywoods also has a drone. He was doing drone videos. No. All right, let's try Flywoods. No one. Nope. Okay, let's go back to Ruby's channel. Let's go to the channels that she subscribes to. She doesn't have any channels. She doesn't have a playlist, just TikTok videos. Okay, so maybe Flywoods stopped making videos. I didn't know that, because I haven't received any notice. Thanks, Rich. Okay, so Ruby's channel, I put the link up there. I'm just posting something in my own page. I'm going to put the link in my description box of Rubylicious channel, and her link is now in my description box as well over here. In case you guys want to go see it and the comments disappear. Hey, Rich, are you still here? I got a question. How do I keep the comments to stay on the page after I refresh the live stream? If you're still here. If not, it's okay. I haven't been able to find that button. And I've looked. And I gave up looking for that button. That one's, it's not hidden. Junior retracted the message. Junior, be good. Okay. Well, she's a blogger. She's a Philippines blogger. Even though I don't watch TikTok, she's a blogger. She's blogging in the Philippines, plus she's a Filipina, so she's a blogger. And she was putting out a lot of content. Okay. So it's raining once again. Drizzle. I built something this week. I have to rebuild something, a motor. And I couldn't get parts. I tried a long time ago to go into the city and look around. I spent the whole day. And then that was one day gone. And the best that they could do is to tell me to go to Cebu. Now, I've gone to Cebu for parts for engines or jobs that I'm doing or have done. And I said to the lady, Chinese lady, because she owns the store, right? She's the cashier. She's the store owner. I said, where do you think I could get these parts from? I don't know, sir. I said to her, well, why don't you look in your catalog? Why don't you look in the catalog? No, sir. You have to have the micrometer sizes of the parts. Vernier calipers and micrometer part sizes. I said, well, just look at this. Here's the part right here. Yes, sir. You'll have to mic it up. I said, okay, let's just say, and I gave her random measurements because I know what size the bolt pattern is and stuff like that. No, sir, you go to Cebu. Here's what they want you to do. Here's what they're really saying. So you got to read between the lines and then ad-lib what they say here. You go to Cebu and you look. Okay, can you tell me where to start looking? No, sir. You go to Cebu and ask. Who am I supposed to ask? Who? Tricycle driver? Where is there a junkyard in Cebu that will have this part? He could bring me to a junkyard, and junkyards are not connected with the internet, and they won't have the part. But they might be a junkyard for gasoline engines and not diesel engines. Or they might be a junkyard for cars and not heavy equipment. So who do I ask? Sir, you go to Cebu and ask. Here's what they're really saying. This is how it works here in the Philippines. They're really saying, you leave my shop and get on a tricycle and go to the boat port. And then you pay $20 to go to Cebu. And then when you get to Cebu, you ask a tricycle driver or a cab, where is there a junkyard? And he brings you to a junkyard, any junkyard. And then you ask the junkyard, do you have this part? No, sir. You go here. And when I went to get parts with Daisy back in September, the automotive shop sent out a runner to 12 stores. I went to 3 on that block and then 2 more afterwards. So we went to a total of 3, including the one I was in, 15 stores, didn't find a part. So we went to a rebuilding shop to rebuild something. And they took mine apart and destroyed the internals of my part. And they took another one apart and kept the internals intact. And when they tried to put it in my alternator, it didn't fit. So my alternator was completely destroyed, and their alternator was now apart. And it took 2.5 hours to do that. So that was what I got after spending a day, 15 stores. Or I got nothing, and at the end of the day, I have a shell of an alternator that doesn't work and never will work again, ever. Because I listened to the woman to go to Cebu to find the part. It wasn't just one part, it was to rebuild an engine, but that's not the point. The point is that what I got is garbage, and now I have to buy a new one, and the new one is, with shipping, if I buy it from America, $600, and they don't want to spend $600. So it was no good when they gave it to me, and now it's still no good, but more no good, if that was possible. It didn't work, it never would work, but now it's no good, and there are pieces missing that they didn't have to replace. It's a disaster. It's a nightmare working here. No computers. So the one part, the alternator part in the Philippines, the one part, so I said to this Chinese automotive parts store owner in Bohol, well, let's just say these parts I can get in Cebu, maybe, because they sell these parts. But the alternator, do they sell the alternator? No, sir. I said, can you get me an alternator? Yes, sir. So she goes online and she Googles that number, alternator. It's the same number that I Googled 2 days before. It's $525 and $75 for shipping, I think it was, at the time, back in September. So it's over $600 and several weeks of shipping. In America, you could put that on a Napa auto counter, and you could put it there at noon today, and tomorrow there'll be one on the counter at 10 o'clock in the morning for $250. So it's almost 2.5 times the price, and you have to wait 6 weeks for it to be delivered. It's hard doing business here. It's hard doing work here. You know, and the Filipinos, they know. They know that this is the way it is. They're just happy to get somebody that knows how to work on something. The stuff I fixed, yeah. They call themselves mechanics. So I had to build something this week for an engine. I won't know that it's going to work or not till I put it back on the engine. But I think it will work. Couldn't buy one. They don't exist. I don't know where you could, well, go to Cebu. So if I went to Cebu, what I could put on a Napa Auto Parts in America on the counter and wait 45 minutes for them to make or get the part or order the part, here would cost about $100 and take 14 hours of traveling back and forth if they had the part in Cebu. Because you got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get on the 7 o'clock ferry, You get there at 10 minutes after 9. It takes a half an hour to get to IT Park proper. So you're there at 10 o'clock. You find a store near IT Park. There's a couple of stores that do that work. Maybe they could fix it right then and there. Let's say they could fix it by 10 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, you'll have the part. You go back to the boat ferry. You get on the 4:30 ferry back, and you get here at 6:30. So it's 13 and a half hours from the time you wake up, and you still have to get home. So it's a 14-hour day to go get a part that you could put on a Napa Auto Part store and just say, can you get one of these? Yes, sir. Tomorrow morning you come back, and there it is. So it's really hard to live here in the Philippines. I could have explained that to the girl on the jeepney, but she wouldn't know what I was talking about. But if you want to come here, you're going to have to get used to doing things differently, I'll tell you that much. And there's no returns. So I bought, they gave me the wrong parts in Bohol Auto. They gave me the wrong parts. They knew they were the wrong parts. They said these parts should be adaptable to the motor you're working on. But if they're not, you can bring them back. So I went to the shop. I had a big shop doing work on an engine for me. And the fellow says, these parts won't work. So I brought them back, and I says, I'd like my money back. No cash returns, sir. Credit only. Whoever, you sold me parts knowing they're the wrong parts, saying you could bring them back. Yes, credit only. So I had to buy several thousand pesos, many thousands of pesos in stuff I don't need. But who ever heard of something so ridiculous? They knew it was the wrong part. They said it's the wrong part, but don't worry, you can bring them back. What does that mean? It means you could return them, right? You can, but you can't get cash back. You can only get credit. Who ever heard of this nonsense? It's really, in America, you could never do that. So when people say it's like living in the Philippines, I tell you, it's really hard to do. It's hard to live here. It's hard to live here and listen to that kind of nonsense. Don't worry, sir, you can bring it back. And 2 hours later, you put it back on the counter. Yes, sir. What would you like as credit? No, I want my no cash back, sir. Only credit. You didn't say that. Sir, I said you could bring them back. You bring them back, I give you credit. The argument is a circular argument. And that's what you get here. A lot of circular arguments. Okay, then let's see, who is this fella Junior that retracted the message? Let's go to his channel. Let's wager money. Let's see. Junior, okay. Junior posted a message right here on the bottom. Let's go to his channel. I bet you he has nobody. I bet you he has no content. Nope. This channel does not have any content. No playlists, no channels, no about. And we're going to block him because he posted something and then removed it. So I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say it was derogatory. I don't know that to be true, but I don't really care. So if you have no content, you're welcome to post on my page. If you have no content and no videos, you're welcome to post on my page. But leaving negative comments or putting comments up and taking them down, you're not welcome to post on my page. And of course, I don't care. Today, 11 o'clock. I'm done early today. DNC, thank you. Richie never answered my question. How to leave the comments up on a live stream. Damon, salamat for the most generous super chat. Thank you. DNC, the same for you. Thank you. We didn't get a lot of people here today. We had 1, 2, Muff Diver 3. Muff Diver 3. If you don't believe Flat Earth, is that an automatic ban or just a timeout? None of the above. So we had 3, 4 people with Rich. Scott Del Fuego, 5. Noun. Scott Del Fuego. FAZIO, noun. Man of iron. One that disposes of troll posts quickly. Blue collar man. That is a genius and a philosopher. Thank you, Scott. Scott, if you're going to be available, I'll say hello before, in case it stops raining, but while it's raining, I'll say hello if you're going to be available, if your Skype is open. I want to post, well, I'm going to be posting some videos of my brother from another mother. We should give him a shout out. He gave me a video, the best moon landing hoax video out on YouTube. Now, I've seen it before. Okay, thanks, Scott. Carnivore Diet. Let me give you a video link. My brother from another mother is on board with this moon hoax stuff. I'm going to get that link right now. I know he has problems with believing the government. He knows now, he understands that the powers that be are decreasing your ability to speak the truth on YouTube and everywhere else. Proof of that is talking about speaking the truth. That guy Scott Adams. I never heard of Scott Adams before in my life. Now the algorithm he had a cartoon I called Dilbert. If you gave me $1 million, I couldn't tell you what it was. $10 million, I wouldn't be able to tell you what a Dilbert cartoon. I wouldn't know if it was a family, a dog, a cat, animals. I wouldn't know what Dilbert cartoon is. I don't care. But he had millions of places that the cartoon was placed every day. And in 24 hours, they removed every company that had a contract with him, removed his cartoon from their magazines or newspapers, wherever that was, wherever he was. So my brother from another mother knows about the false flag operations. So I ought to put that down. My brother from another mother sent me this link. Because he knows, well, first of all, he knows I like this moon landing hoax stuff, because it's true. We never went to the moon. There's no way we went to the moon. I don't believe it for a second. Let me give you an argument that you can't argue. Let me give you, and it's just argument, because there's no proof we went to the moon. And there is proof we didn't go to the moon. Frank B., we are live. I might have to cut this short. If my brother from another mother is doing a live stream, far be it from me to interfere with what he's doing. Let's take a look here. Oh, he did a live stream. Okay. He did a live stream. Here it is right here. Everything Philippines and beyond. But that was an hour ago. I didn't get the notice. Frank, I didn't get the notice. Okay, so let me show you why. Let me tell you why. Let me explain to you why we didn't go to the moon. We did not go to the moon. Let me break it down in simple terms for you. Only a fool would believe that we went to the moon. Only a fool. Now, why is that? Well, it's provable. For those of us who are babies that watch this nonsense that we post on YouTube, if you remember, after the moon hoax landing, they said in Popular Science and Scientific America and the newspapers that the plan was to have colonies on the moon and men on Mars by the year 2000. None of that happened. None of that happened. We never even went back to the moon. But here's the argument that I could use that we never went to the moon at all. I don't even think we could go to the moon if we wanted to. Russia never went to the moon, and they could have gone to the moon in the 70s. China never went to the moon. They certainly could go to the moon today if they wanted to. There's no video of the moon, only CGI. I think even Pakistan may have the ability to go to the moon. There were 4 countries. It wasn't Japan. But whatever it is, we never went back to the moon, and no one else ever went to the moon. But we were promised colonies with families living on the moon by the year 2020. You go back and read Popular Science, and they were saying by the year 2020 there'd be people living full-time on the moon, and people will have gone to Mars and come back. None of that happened. None of it. Why didn't it happen? Because they don't have the ability to get there now. And they don't have the ability to do what's necessary to get there now. They need food and water for a year to go to Mars and come back. That's if nothing bad happens. They have no backup plan for safety. They have no spaceship that can withstand solar radiation or a radiation burst from the sun. Nothing. They can't do it. The necessary equipment to get to the moon and back, supposedly they went to the moon and back in a metal that's not any thicker than this spoon, when in order to shield from a solar radiation burst from the sun, which is not where they say it is anyway, but it could put out enough X-rays to take the life expectancy of the astronauts down to immediate death or anything thereafter, months, years. They never went to the moon because they weren't in a capsule that would guard shield against solar radiation. And the people that in that video that I gave you just now the link to, the people in that video that debunk going to the moon are, the majority of them are professional videographers and photographers. They're not people like my brother from another mother. They're not people like me. They're not people like Pinoy Troll, who is, in fact, who does have talent. The man can drink 24 beers. I'd like to see anybody else here do that. He has talent. He just doesn't have moon travel talent. I would imagine he's woke up in How do you drink 24 beers and remember to go to the bathroom? how, how, do, how do you drink 24 beers and remember to wake up to go to the bathroom? You guys want to answer that question? I want to get a bottle of water. Somebody answer that question. Explain to me how you could drink 24 beers and then go to sleep and somehow remember to wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. You're going to go to the bathroom, but where? That's the question. Basically, that's what I'm asking. So somebody want to post that information? We need to know. We need to know. Would be the biggest problem I would see, aside from the headache in the morning. But somebody want to explain to me how somehow your biological body clock is going to wake up 2.5 hours after you go to sleep and say, I have to go to the bathroom. Let me get up and go. Or is it not going to happen like that? I got to ask that question. Because that's a legitimate question, dude. Yes, DNC. Ding, 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 ding. 24 beers. You don't have to need to remember to wake up to go to the bathroom. It's going to happen regardless. 24 bottles of beer in the wall. Where do we put the squall? Open your legs and let it fly. It's going to happen anyway. 24 bottles of beer on the wall. I'm going to drink them all. Then I'm going to sleep, and then I'm going to wake up and remember to go to the bathroom. It's going to happen. I pray to Jesus. Jesus, make it happen. 24 bottles of beer on the wall. Let me drink them all. Then I will worry about the yellow squall later on. La, 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 la. It doesn't make any sense. Not the music. The music always makes sense. It's stupid, and that's why I do it. But drinking 24 beers, imagine. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about when was the last time you drank 24 beers? And what happened to you when you went to sleep? Ice water. That is, I freeze up water when I'm not, I don't drink ice water before my meal or after or during. Don't ever drink ice water with your food, because if you drink anything with oil in it, the oil hardens up in your stomach. Not good to do that. I'm being serious too. If you drink ice water with your dinner, you shouldn't drink cold water with your dinner anyway. I do, sometimes, a little bit. But you shouldn't be drinking ice water with your meal, because anything that's oil or greasy coagulates, gets hard like a wax in your stomach. Very hard for you to digest cold fat and oil. But during the day, it's okay. Yeah, imagine drinking 20. I can't even. Since I moved to the Florida Keys in '93 to become a Marine Patrol agent. So from '93 to 8, when I took the test, I didn't drink even one beer and I didn't smoke even one cigarette. Then I moved to Key Largo. I took the test to become a Marine Patrol agent. The FUMP, Florida Marine Patrol. And the day that the test was, I woke up, took a shower, and I slipped in the shower. I really slipped in the bathtub. On a bathtub, and I stayed in some small little resort in Tallahassee where you take the test, and I slipped and twisted my knee. And I took the test, and it was I think it was a mile and a half, and you had to run it in 11 minutes. No problem, except it was all uphill. It was half uphill and half mountains on the way up and down on the way down. I failed it by 3 seconds because I had a twisted knee, and the pain was just unbearable. So I trained for a year and a half to take that test, and I literally slipped in the bathtub. You guys can look that up, that I took the test, anybody with clearance to do that. And I failed it by 3 seconds. And I forgot the guy's name, but I said to him, can I do it again? Because by that time I had the adrenaline flow. And he goes, no, you come back next year. By next year I bought a house, and my mortgage was more than my pay would have been, so I couldn't do that. Anyway, I didn't drink from 93 to 98. I bought a house in 99, and I drank 1 beer a year until 2013. That was my maximum consumption, 1 beer a year. In fact, when Scott gets here, if he wants, I have a bottle of Grey Goose, half a magnum of Grey Goose that someone gave me back in 2001 or 2, and I have a couple of bottles of Chivas Regal, I think. He can have that if he wants it. I will never drink it. And since I've been in the Philippines, I may have had 4 beers, maybe 5. So from 93, well, from 98 till now, maybe I drank 12 beers then, and 5, that's 17. Jeff, in all his glory, has drank more beers in one night than I drank since 1993, which is 30 years. I hate alcohol. Now, I drank a lot of rum. Oof. That was for medicinal purposes, so I would go to sleep. But beer, I like beer. I like a Heineken, cold Heineken, once in a while. Haven't had one in years. Doesn't change the fact that I like them. But I drank 100 bottles of rum. Maybe more. I don't know. Maybe less. For my leg, the pain in my leg was so severe that you guys make fun of, and you allow people to make fun of my leg on your channel. Rich, you allow them to do that. Not a good thing. And the pain in my leg was so severe. I would just turn a bottle of rum upside down, and if I wouldn't finish it, but I'd get halfway through or more, put it down and crawl into bed and go to sleep. But I never peed in my pants, so I'll tell you that right now. Because that's only 12 ounces of liquid. But 24 beers, jeez. So, yeah, 24 beers. DNC has something to say. 24 beers, you don't need to remember to wake up. You just go to the bathroom. It's going to happen regardless. Scott, they have a book on that. Read the book, A Case of Beer and the Yellow Mattress on Amazon by IP Freely. IP Freely. That's Scott made that up. Or Bladder Blow by N Conference. By N Conference. Scott says people that would make fun of a wound like that need mental help. Yeah, that it's gonna get your channel in trouble. I'm telling you. I warned you before. I'm not kidding about that. You know better. And you know it's free speech, right? It's free speech. And you know, I can't stop you, but it's going to get your channel in trouble. It's going to happen. Now, I've not even reported a single comment or flagged a single channel in years. But I know how to do it. I do know how to do that. I remember how to do it. You guys keep allowing that kind of crap on your channel, and I'll just start to take the time to knock that stuff off. I don't have a wound on my leg because I don't keep it clean. I don't have a wound on my leg because of something I did or because something I don't go to the doctor for. I go to the doctor every 2 to 3 weeks. They change the medicine every 6 weeks for 3 years. And you want to make fun of that? Okay, I'll report the comments. And if the comments don't stop, I'll report the channel. What's fair is fair, right? You want to make fun of me? I don't really appreciate it. Make fun of the pot. Make fun of the flat earth. That's part of YouTube. Make fun of we didn't go to the moon, we went to the moon. You could do that. But the wound on my leg, I don't see it as being funny. I don't see it as being funny that somebody says, oh, you could smell that leg when you walk by his house. I don't find that funny at all. Not one bit. Now, you want to keep saying it, I could just go there and report the comment. It will disappear. But I'll report the channel, too. I won't just report the comment. And then they'll stop. Take my word for it. It needs to stop. You people talking about degrading stuff or violent stuff against me on YouTube, I will not tolerate that kind of stuff. And if I have to, if you force me to flag your channel or your videos, I'll do that too. You're just not getting it. I asked you nicely 3 weeks ago. I mentioned it last week, and I'm asking you again to make it stop. You have the power to make it stop on your channel. If you don't, I'll do whatever I can to make it stop on my end. Free speech and all. I don't consider that free speech. That's hate. That's really hate speech. And it's uncalled for. It's not true. And allowing something that's not true to perpetrate as hate speech should not be allowed on YouTube. And we'll find out just how allowed it is when we push the envelope. All right, then, let's see what else we got here. People that make fun of that wound, a wound like that, need mental help. Yeah, that's just not right. Now, I've kidded around about the donut eating factory because he does not stop. He doesn't say don't leave comments, don't leave that kind of lie and derogatory comment on my page. He wants you to do that so he gets super chat. But now I have a different opinion. So I will go after those things. And you just report the comment. YouTube will take the comment down. But I could report the channel for allowing comments like that also. So just keep it up and we'll just change the way we do business. I know you think everything is a joke, but it's not a joke. The infection on my leg is not a joke. It stopped me from working for over a year. Then we had the lockdown. And you want to make fun? I didn't build any ladder that broke, you liars. You're a bunch of liars is what you are. And I don't wash or bathe in a puddle like that creepy bastard said. He bathes in a puddle. I don't do that. So you guys just keep it up, and then when I have time, I'll start reporting the comments and all the channels. And now you were asked nice. I mentioned it again last week, and now I mentioned it again. And that's where I'm going to leave this live stream off. Far be it from me to not keep my word. Thanks for watching, and God day to everybody from Michael Fazio, and soon, Daisy May, in the Philippines, baby. Bye-bye for now. And of course, umping Permy means take care always.